If you want to learn about the housing market in the St. Louis area, we've got some experts here that can double your knowledge in 30 minutes. We brought them around for 2.5 hours. Stay tuned for this one, everybody. Welcome everybody back to the Your Little Castle Show. We asked Wardell and Nikki to stay for another half an hour. I was just kind of blown away with all the information that they were able to share with us. So I said, we've got to do another half an hour. We're going to talk about it right now and get into this. Because I didn't even get through half my questions that we normally get through because obviously they're well informed and it can help people. If you're looking to learn about the housing industry here in St. Louis, from all angles, so you can rent, so you can figure out where you can afford to be, the ways to improve your credit. These are a couple experts that'll help us with that. With that, tell me, you guys obviously are a small business by definition, less than 50 employees. How many people do you work with? Is it the two of you, and then you've got other support? How does your organization work?
Well, we're the head people in charge, and then we have a staff of about 20. A majority of the people we work with are independent contractors. We have remote workers, and we have people with boots on the ground here in the St. Louis area and in the Atlanta area as well.
Okay, yeah. So, but a crew of 20 altogether.
Yeah.
That's quite the team to get it going. But small business. But the point of that question is, what is it that you think you do better as a small business to be more responsive to help take care of people?
We're responsive, we're attentive, we're understanding, we're action takers, and we give it to you like the real deal. I mean, there's no fluff. You're not sugarcoating. You're more than a number. You're a client for life. And like I said, because we take you through that transition of either renter, home buyer, and home seller as well, and even into an investor mode. So there's many aspects.
Not only that, we're counselors as well. So
okay,
not licensed.
No, right, not licensed.
But it becomes very important. Wardell, expand upon that for me a little bit.
Well, I mean, you get tenants that they're going through difficult challenges and they need someone to speak with in regards to, hey, this month I may be a little short. I'm out of a job, and is it something that we can work out? But we have to hear a lot of stories that they're kind of touching at times because we've been there, we've done that, so we understand life does happen, but we're just mainly here to help, and I think that's what one of the benefits of having a small business is, because you have that one-on-one type of approach with the clients.
Yeah, when they're talking to the CEO or they're talking to the president, they're both sitting right here, everybody. And if there's a question that anybody has, it doesn't have to go up the chain very far before you guys can quickly be involved and say, right, we understand that, here's the agreement we're going to have. We're going to still be accountable here, but we can make something work for you.
Exactly.
And that's a great way to run a business,
exactly.
and what you can get from a small business owners. I know some of my big national sponsors might be going, we were going to sponsor you until you said that. But like you guys, I just like to tell it how it is. So,
yeah.
But with that, tell me, there's so many mistakes that the average homeowner, purchaser, somebody who wants to find a residence to live in, can make. Give me an example of a couple mistakes that you know are made almost always that you help people get through.
Well, one thing, people go on social media and they believe everything they see on social media.
Right.
Or they're getting advice from people who have never done what they're trying to do before. And so one thing that we never discredit that, as far as, the social media thing, we will tell them that because what you see may not be true. And so we just dive into what it is that they don't understand and try to reflect upon that and then make them or show them how it actually is, like home ownership. And I always say, know what you're getting into before you get into it, because it can be very challenging. And, they say buying a home or even renting can be one of the most stressful things outside of getting married. So, and we know how challenging that could be. So
marriage and buying a home. Wardell, tell me a little more about that.
Yeah, I was going to say not only that, make certain that, you not only just have enough money for your mortgage, make sure you have backups for when the furnace goes down or your AC unit goes down. So that's what we kind of stress that, you're only paying like $1,200 a month for your mortgage, but you may have these things down the line. So we just try to, educate them and warn them that it's a little bit more to it than that.
And even like for the renters too, that's where we help teach them about home ownership. It's not just all on the owner. I mean, some things the owner will take care of, but some things you're responsible for as well. And that's the bridge to the next step to owning a home.
Correct.
Yeah, so you're really kind of providing the training ground for people to learn the responsibilities and all the requirements to get through and own a home, or you start off with renting and lead them down that path.
Correct.
How important is the credit that people have? And you can help guide people with that a little bit too. You like you said, you kind of become counselors. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I have almost a PhD in human services, and that's part of it as well, because you find yourself counseling people not on a, more so on an educational level, but not a license level, to make them aware that it's not as easy as it seems to be. I mean, even what we do every day. And Wardell he's on the beaten path with these people on a regular basis out there working with them. And so he sees firsthand, what's going on in the home. We walk in and we see lots of chaos and, kids and things are not just being controlled. And so our goal is to always put things in perspective. Again, going back to we've been through what you're trying to go through right now. And then just, give real life scenarios and it works out.
Very true and very important to help. Wardell, that's stuff you've been through, and you're helping people to get through this.
Correct. Yes. Every day. Phone is ringing off the hook. So I mean, we stay. Like I said, I think some of our aspects of what we do is counseling, and I think we do a good job at that because we've lived it, we've learned it. A lot of things that happen in life, you're not prepared for. A lot of the people that do come to us that want to buy, they've never experienced, buying a property, and they've never been educated on how to do it. It could be from their parents or whatnot, but
it's not taught in school.
It's not taught in school, so that's something that you got to be educated on. You just can't come in here and think you can buy a house and that's it, but there's a lot to know.
Lots to know, everybody. That's to say it lightly, and I'm getting an inference here as you guys obviously, with the combined over 40 years of experience, they really do know what they're doing.
Yes.
Mostly residential or 100% residential? Do you help with people with any commercial business, any commercial buildings, or is it all residential? Tell me.
Majority, 98% is residential. We are expanding into the commercial area, but it's not more so. That's more on the investment side and more on a leasing of space and things of that nature. So that's something that we're aiming to move forward in this next tenure of our business.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, there's more room for there, and there's just so much commercial and residential in this space can often reflect and build off each other. And so, how many times you have commercial buildings with residential housing and built into them, and just people that want to build their business so they can pay for their home and everything that ties into that. What do you like most about this St. Louis market? Obviously, something you guys have been born and bred in all your life, and then you also have Atlanta. Tell me about the two markets that you've decided to work in and what you enjoy about working in those.
Well, the St. Louis market is very affordable, and that's why we get a lot of investors that are out of state that want to come here and invest because, of course, we're in the Midwest here right now, and just from a real estate perspective, it's affordable. Home ownership is affordable here. Investment is affordable here. When you go out to the outlying areas where in our other area market is Atlanta, it's very expensive. It didn't used to be because I graduated from Clark Atlanta University, and back when I graduated, real estate was inexpensive, but now it's expensive everywhere. And Atlanta has a much more diverse market than we do here in St. Louis, but people thrive here because it's less expensive to live, raise a family, purchase a home, and even invest, as I stated. Atlanta is a little bit more upscale depending on the area of the market that you go in, but you can get some houses there that you can get here for $100,000, you get them there for $500,000. So
wow. Okay.
That's the different variation, and it just really depends on what people desire, how much money they have, and where they want to live.
Okay, Wardell, tell me more about that and your experience and why you like the St. Louis area and Atlanta.
To piggyback off what you said, I mean, the pricing of the housing is much more affordable here compared to in Georgia. You have a different clientele, and a lot of the investors that we work with, they know that the housing out here is a lot more affordable than what it is in Georgia. So they like it. I love it. It keeps us in business. So, yeah, that's about it.
Well, we like the St. Louis market. I believe it or not, the Cardinal Cowboy almost moved to Atlanta many years ago, and had a special someone who I got to know through training, and then we went back to our regions, and then we kept in touch. Didn't work out, but I've been to Atlanta, and many times, and it's just quite an unbelievable city. I'll have a quick story. Cardinal game, my buddy Jerome, I played football with, and he lived down there, and we went and sat in our seats. I got some great seats, and we were up a little bit we were actually supposed to sit 2 rows lower, and then we sat, but somebody was sitting in our seats. We're like, there's a bunch of empty seats here. We'll just sit in our seats where we're at. So then somebody came up to us, and I was wearing Cardinal gear, so they're kind of like, wondering, are you even supposed to be here, kind of thing?
Right,
I said, well, actually, we're supposed to be sitting there. So we moved up 2 rows further where we're supposed to be. Thank you. We're supposed to be sitting there, actually. Then we found out later after the game they replayed it, and every camera shot across the batter for a right-handed batter was putting us on camera. And if we hadn't moved there, we wouldn't have been on camera. Getting my face airtime on. But it's a great city and lots of good things to go down. New ballpark and everything they've got down there.
Great
too,
city.
Yeah, and Atlanta's just a city, so there's other suburbs too that are less expensive. But if you want to live in the city of Atlanta, you're gonna pay to live there.
Yes, and it is a robust, but yeah, there's a lot to go. Sandy Springs is where I was at back
Oh,
then.
Sandy Springs, okay.
yeah,
I
remember that.
Sandy Springs.
Well, many years doing this now. Give me an example of just one. I can mention there's a lot, but an example of time where you really helped somebody that was in a tough situation and you had to come through.
Homeless people. We get a lot of calls.
Yep.
As I mentioned, the unhoused is huge.
Okay.
We get a lot of calls for people that are homeless, living in their cars. And unfortunately, a lot of times they don't even have the rental history to even call to get a reference. And so we're taking a gamble. We're taking a chance to, assure you housing. And so that those times we get that all the time. So I would say that's honestly the hardest part of our business, because some owners don't want to accept people who have been homeless. But then we have those that work with us who do. They understand our mission, they understand our goal, and that is to give people the opportunity for affordable housing.
That's got to be rewarding. You've went through this with a few people?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Wardell, tell me about it.
Very rewarding. We've got one particular person that we're working with where it's not even her fault that she's homeless, because the apartment that she stayed in was shut down. So they had to close the whole building down, and she has to find somewhere to live, and we're in the process of helping her now. So that's just, the latest one that we've dealt with. But
yeah, it's been many over the years. That
too many to tell.
Yeah, it's been a lot. Yeah. And they have kids, and so as a parent myself, you obviously feel for the children because you want them to be in the house, and then it gets cold here in St. Louis, so it's a lot.
Well, yeah, the work you're doing is magical and really exciting to see that there's somebody that takes the time to dig in as much as you do to really help people understand how to get into where they can have a nice place to live. So important for everybody. Tell me a challenge you guys have been through business-wise. It's obviously something you learned from, but it made you a little stronger. But we like to share some of the hurdles we've been through. I didn't realize that was something to watch out for. Can you give me an example, something like
Working with your spouse.
I get it. Yeah.
That could be challenging, because we have to learn how to set work aside and spend time together.
Okay.
So we have to focus on that. From a business perspective, I would say funding, because as a small business, it's really hard to get funding. And truth be told, as we consider a black business, African American business is even harder. And so funding to keep doing what you're doing, to be able to help people. We've even come through and help people to get them into places with money because they don't have it or whatnot. And so we're in the process of setting up a nonprofit as well to be able to assist on that side. But it is very challenging from every aspect, and I would say funding from my perspective and working with your spouse.
There you go. Hey, with great challenges come great rewards. How about that?
That is correct.
But there's a lot we get to benefit. And yes, I helped my girlfriend get into where she's got an Airbnb, and that's all she needs to do. She's got a lot more time now at home, but it works out well. I get to see her. She's a wonderful young lady, and we've been together now 10 years. So.
Oh, yeah, kudos to you. It's
Congrats.
30 for us.
Okay, 30. Here we go.
And we do short-term housing as well. So we do work with people who come into the St. Louis area, as you mentioned with Airbnb. So we have multiple in the St. Louis area and the Georgia area. So we help with short-term housing for corporate sponsorships.
There you go. Yes, short-term housing is what an Airbnb is considered, or hotel. But Airbnb, and they're dynamite if you can get those set up and run. And you've done that yourself, and you know how to help people with those as well. That's
Yeah, we
short
actually
term.
been doing that since about 2007 and didn't know it wasn't Airbnb then. We don't even like to classify. See, Airbnb is a business.
Yeah.
We offer short-term housing.
Yes.
So we separate ourselves from Airbnb because they're their own company.
Right.
And a lot of times when people get into that, they're like, oh, the Airbnb I'm staying in. No, you're staying with JZM Solutions Corporate Housing. And so it's a different entity. But yeah.
Thorough background
We do,
checks.
yeah, we do thorough background checks, and like I said, every now and then we have those that have those background checks that we have to turn away because it's either could be an issue in the neighborhood with housing and things. So we try to help everybody, but unfortunately, there are some that fall through the cracks, and I think that's a social issue versus a company issue.
Yes, no, we can talk about that many times too. We want to give everybody a fair shake on this little planet, and if you're willing to work and put the time in and help other people, then you can do so. With that, we're going to jump back and finish up our little interviews with the Billiken basketball guys here.
Yeah.
And the Billikens are doing really well. Coincidence
Go
after the
Billikens.
Cardinal
Go
Cowboy
Slough.
interviewed them?
Go
I don't know.
Slough.
Wardell might have had something to do with it too.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of background here with basketball and Larry Hughes and all of the basketball legends that have come out of the St. Louis area. But stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back here in just a minute. Mark, how you doing?
Amari.
Amari, I'm sorry, got that right. Amari, good to meet you. What position do you play for SLU?
I'm guard.
You're a guard.
Yeah.
You can shoot, dribble, dunk, and the whole thing.
Yeah, just a little bit. I wish I could do it like him, but
We're going to talk to him too. All right, Amari. How excited are you about the upcoming season for SLU?
I'm very excited. You know, we got a group of guys, you know, that compete and, you know, that's willing to win. So, you know, it's fun. You know, you can't complain.
So is there going to be a potential conference championship in this maybe? Don't want to get you in trouble predicting. We don't do that in baseball. We don't do it in football. But do you at least feel like you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, definitely. You know, like I said, we got a group of guys that's willing to win, you know, that's willing to dive on floors and get loose balls. So, you know, can't complain, honestly.
They said hard work pays off, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Mark. What's your first name?
Kalu.
Kalu. How long have you been playing with the SLU basketball team now?
This is going to be my second year here now.
So are you excited having a new coach? This is his second year too. Did you come along with the coach? You like this program he's got put together?
Yeah, I came along with him last year. It's a great program, great environment. I'm excited for this new season.
So as a matter of SLU's place in the conference, you think there's a chance you might do well in the conference this year?
For sure, just got to take it day by day and come compete every single day, and I think we'll have a great chance for that.
What position you specialize in?
I'm a forward.
So you can do those rebounds, maybe a slam dunk, and hit a three-pointer every once in a while.
For sure, for sure.
You need any help with your reverse slam dunk, you let me know.
I got you, man.
All right, everybody.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is the Your Little Castle Show. We air 3 times a week, every week on ABC, and we would like to put somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner, to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. Takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there's no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. And we're back, everybody. Check out our book, Magnetized Media. We mentioned a little bit first show. If you missed that first show, check it out. Yours truly wrote the foreword here. You can see they put my picture. I get my bookmark from our guest who was on the show, who wrote a book too. But New York, our #1 seller on Amazon, and it really helps you to understand where this media stuff is going these days. But how have you guys been doing this for a little while now, 40 plus years. They've been doing this for a long time. Started when they were both in their teens, I guess, or really young. But they both done this for a long time. But you've seen some evolution, some change in the way the business is run. What would you say, technology-wise, has changed? Got to have a website, got to have social media, and then everything else that ties into that. How has that impacted the way you guys do business now?
Well, as I mentioned, not just word of mouth anymore. People want to look you up like you did. You went and got our website, our social background, and things of that nature. People want to know what you've done. And as I mentioned, majority of our investors, they don't live in the St. Louis area. So to be able to work with people worldwide, they have to see your presence, what you're doing. And that doesn't come by referrals as opposed to when you're local and people are referring people to us to purchase, to rent or to purchase a home. To get those investors, they got to come out of your area, and we're fortunate through technology to be able to offer them go to our website, check us out on Facebook, and even communication, being able to text. We do a lot of texting with our investors.
A lot of text.
Yeah. So we have to stay educated in order to be able to consistently keep up with the flow of technology.
Yeah, that's for sure. What impacts have you seen, Wardell, that have made a big difference?
What she said, I'm piggybacking off of that. We do a lot of texting back and forth. A lot of these investors, they actually find us online, again, because we work with so many different ones out of state. They're not here. They don't know,
FaceTime.
Yeah, we do a lot of FaceTime, Zoom conferences.
Okay.
And so, and we've been doing it and for the longest. And
even before 2020.
Yeah. So,
COVID lockdown, we've been doing it before then.
Right.
So.
Okay. Yeah. FaceTime's another important one. I don't use that one as much, but I know it's everybody. If you've got I do a Facebook a fair amount, but yeah, and then Apple has theirs and Android theirs. But man, and Zoom meetings so important.
Yeah,
we've all figured out how to do that.
When he's out doing the project management aspect of showing the investors the home before they buy them, we're doing FaceTime because they're not here. So they want to be present, and that's their presence of walkthrough with us through FaceTime.
Yeah, I do a lot of walkthroughs in order to have, inspections in order for them to gain trust on, I want to buy this property. So, yeah, do a lot of that. Yeah.
There you go, everybody. We need to get that information, and now it travels a lot more quickly because this whole interwebs. I wrote my master's thesis. It was called The Internet. That's all.
Okay. Right.
What is that? I didn't know online dating was going to be such a big thing. But just about every other industry, and dating is. I just saw some graph that popped up. Back in the day, it was like nobody did computers. Now it's 60% of people meet through this whole computer thing that we do now. So, well, tell me the process. If somebody wants to work with you, somebody would like to get some help from you. What is the process for somebody? Go to the website, call you. What do they need to do?
Well, if you are interested in renting a home, the best thing to do is give us a call at 888-270-4089.
Say that one more time. I'll put it up on the screen for everybody here.
888-270.
There it is.
4089. If you are interested in renting a home, if you're interested in buying or becoming an investor, those are the best numbers to contact us at, or that is the best number.
The best number, okay. And is that a textable number?
Yeah, you can text number. Okay. You can text that too.
That's the way things go. So walk me through the process. Once somebody says they would like to work with you, then you meet with them, or how do you? What's next?
So we utilize technology, and we send you a virtual tour. We are on Facebook, YouTube as well. So before when they contact us, they tell us they're interested in renting the property. We kind of do a background and assessment to just kind of get an overview of what they're looking for, how many bedrooms, the area that you're looking in, what is your budget, and things of that nature. And then when do you want to move in? And then from there, we send them a list of properties that we have available for rent. If they tell us they want to rent, if they want to buy, then we're looking at, what can we do to help you buy this home? We have to get you pre-approved. A lot of times people don't understand the cycle of purchasing a home. You need to get pre-approved before you do that. And so we get them, we work with a series of lenders to help them get pre-approved. And then once they get pre-approved, then we go assist them with home ownership. If you want to do investment, we kind of look at what your goals are, your objectives, what your funding needs are, if you even have the cash, because we work with a lot of investors right now that have the cash to just go buy it, whether it's through a loan or cash that they're purchasing it with. So we go through a series of things, your goals, your objectives, what you want to make today versus, tomorrow, and just put it all into play. And we have a spreadsheet that we work with.
Market analysis.
Cost analysis.
analysis.
KPIs. We do all of that for you to help you grow and monetize your business.
KPIs, key performance indicators.
Yes, yes.
You guys are really on the ball. This is pretty exciting. And somebody is going to get the job done. What's the biggest question? What's the biggest objection that somebody has? I'll start off with you with this one. But what do people say? Well, I want to get a or what do you see that the mistakes they're making? What's the biggest question that comes out of somebody's mouth?
On the investor side, since they're not here, a lot of our investors, they do a crime report on the particular properties that they're looking at. And if they see that, assaults or robberies or anything going on in the area, they're backing out.
Okay.
And so the way that we deal with that is, okay, so here's another property.
Right.
And, a lot of times we do the analysis before we even send them that. So, that's one of the
One of the
main
obstacles.
things.
Yeah, sure. Well, every city and every in the country's got some part of town where there's just crime's a little bit higher, and we're trying to work on that. Trust me, we all know what needs to be done, but that's certainly a consideration if somebody's going to become an investment property. What about somebody who wants to rent a new house? What is the biggest question you hear from somebody?
Well, first thing they ask is, do you pull credit reports? Are your properties privately owned? And to be honest with you, when someone asks me those things, we already know what their situation is, because why would you ask what credit score? We already know your credit is bad if you're asking what credit score you need. And then if it's a privately owned renter or owner, if the owner is private that owns it, we already know you got some issues, either it's eviction or crime or something along those lines. And so those are key indicators. But one thing that we do assure them on is that we work with a lot of people. And as long as you work with us, we're going to work with you. And we're going to try to find a solution to your problem. We're going to help you, but you got to want to help yourself first. And then you got to be able to afford it, because if you can't afford it, we got to figure out how to get you some more income.
There you go. And there's a number of ways you might be able to help people with that too, and become an investor. And you have a lot of people that turn into that. That's pretty neat. What gives you ultimately, when it comes down to it, what gives you guys the most satisfaction for what you're doing here?
Well, again, helping these people get into homes that never thought that they had the opportunity or a chance to, regardless of what their situation is.
Or age.
Yeah, or age. Yeah, we get a lot of that. So, the overall gratification is being able to help, being a steward, and help someone get a home that they didn't think that they could.
And he's mentioned stewardship. We are faith-driven, faith-focused, and everything that we do, we put our faith first, because we know that everybody is here for a purpose, and our mission is that purpose to house people, because housing is something that we all need. We can't live without housing.
There you have it, everybody. Write that one down. We're all here for a purpose. You've got one too.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. This is the Your Little Castle Show. Giddy up.